What's up, guys? This is Solar Flare YGO, and today I'm bringing you my Marincess deck profile for the November 2020 format. I thought this deck would be a really good choice to cover since it also got a bunch of reprints in the Megatins, so it gives sort of a theme to the last few videos, being Megatin price drop decks. I got this deck a while ago. I've had it for a few months now, but I thought with the Megatins it would be what better time to cover it than now, right? So Marincess is a link climbing deck where you focus on normal summoning one monster and climbing to your link 3, or normal summoning and then having an extender in hand and climbing to your link 4, preferably the link 4. So it's very resource kind. You recycle a lot, leaving lots of resources in hand, so you have the ability to loop your plays over and over again, and you're never really at a position where you're losing, making this a kind of comparable to Salamangreat, which is unfortunate because it's also a cyber stack. It's very mid-range where it doesn't really combo all the way and it doesn't really control all the way. I think it's really fun. I don't think it's the best deck, but I would take this to my locals and see if I could win. So for scale of how kind of competitive that is, my locals is pretty difficult. They tend to run whatever is meta at the time, or rogue. So I could see this kind of competing at that kind of level, where people are playing what's good, but not really 100% on how the deck plays yet, or experimenting and stuff like that. Anyway, getting into the monsters. I'm running triple Marincess Blue Tang. This is just kind of the choice, like, all the time. You always run 3 of this. It sends a Marincess from deck to grave on Link Summon, which is really good because you have Marincess Blue Slug, which recycles all your Marincess. You just target one and add it back to your hand. So that's super good. So this basically searches, and then when you use it as link material for said Blue Slug, you can excavate the top 3 cards of your deck and add 1 Marincess card. So it really helps you dig further into your deck and try and get to your Marincess wave. Marincess are heavily focused on their trap card, Marincess wave, because it gives them immunity to all card effects and is an infinite impermanence. So this entire build is focused around getting to that as quick as possible. Obviously, you're going to still have your plays. It's not like I'm running a triple trap trick, triple Lilith Lady of Lament or some shit like that, but I am trying to get to as fast as possible, as efficiently as possible, while still having my plays. Blue Tang helps with that. She also just helps set up your combo, and she's just the best normal summon of the deck. The old normal summon of the deck, I can't call her the best because there wasn't really any other options when she came out, but Marincess Seahorse is really good. She's the best extender for sure. What you used to do is you normal summon her, link into Blue Slug, add her back to your hand, and then special summon her to the zone Blue Slug points to. But now, the main thing you want to do is you want to dump her with Blue Tang, or you want to have her in hand and then dump Marincess Mandarin instead, and that'll get you your combo as well. But the best part about her is that not only does she have that special summon, but she can also banish herself from the grave, except the turn she was sent there, to special summon a water monster from your hand. So she allows you turn 3 onward to really keep your plays going and kind of be really hand trap resistant, which is really nice. I just wish that was like something you could do in the first turn, and that would make it like really good, because then you could like discard her for Signet Mining, banish her, summon, like, you know, crazy stuff like that. Anyway, this might be a little controversial, but I am running the triple Marincess Mandarin. I think 3 is the best option because you want to see either her or Seahorse. I know people run 1 because they kind of feel like she's recyclable. Even when she's banished, you get access to her again. But also, she activates from the grave or the hand, so you prefer to activate her from the grave. But the truth is, like, you're gonna need to see her or Seahorse. So I'd rather see her and not need to have seen her than not see her at all. So I'm sacrificing like the ability to see other cards to specifically see either Mandarin or Seahorse. So I'm running them both at 3. She just special summons herself if you control 2 or more Marincess Link monsters. Very easy summoning condition, super doable. So three of in this deck. I'm running triple Marincess Pascalis. She's the worst of the good Marincess, I think. I think people would argue with me about that and say Mandarin's the worst, but I definitely think Pascalis is. On normal summon, she special summons a Marincess from your hand, which is good, but that just means she doesn't really do anything by herself. Seahorse gets you full combo, and Blue Tank gets you full combo. Well, I say full combo, but they get you Link 3s, but Pascalis on her own gets you nothing. Same with Mandarin. Pascalis plus Mandarin can get you stuff. Pascalis plus Seahorse can get you things. So Pascalis is good for 2-card combos. But if you only see this, you're kind of screwed. Same thing with Mandarin as well, but I'm willing to make that sacrifice to just like draw into them, have them as Marincess names, and risk the bricking that could happen with that. Not that I brick very often, but just that theoretically this could be like bricky in certain situations where you only draw Pascalis as your Marincess monster. Next, I'm running Parallel Exceed. This is really good in this deck, not just because it's a free rank 4. I'm only playing one rank 4 in this deck, and that's Abyss Dweller. You could probably run something like Digresto Emerald or something to like draw and get you to your Marincess Wave faster, but I like Abyss Dweller, but also it's a Cyburst, so you can use it to make Splash Mage, which is very powerful play in this deck. It has some conflicting issues with Blue Slug because Blue Slug locks you into water, which is definitely problematic, but I still think he's worth running at 1 just because, well, not 1, 3. Worth running at 3, even if you can only special summon 1 because of the Splash Mage interaction, so definitely worth it. Depending on your hand, you might not recycle, and you can still make Abyss Dweller and stuff as well, so I think he's definitely worth running at 3. I'm running 2 Sea Archiver. This is just my choice as like a generic extender in the deck. So Sea Archiver is water and Cyburst, so he fulfills the Splash Mage and the Coral summoning conditions, but also its summoning conditions slightly different from Mandarin. You have to special summon to a zone a Link monster points to, but because of that, you can chain block your Sea Angel because it's an ignition effect and not... Yeah, if a monster is normal special summon to a zone a Link monster points to, you can. So because it like activates in a way where you can chain it to Sea Angel, you can chain block and summon this from your hand, so it's really nice. But I think it's only 2 because it's for like running my 4th and 5th Mandarin, and you know how I feel about the ratio 5 if you watched my last video. 5 is the magic number. So yeah, just run 2. Next I'm running triple Deep Sea Minstrel. So Minstrel is hand trap protection. She rips a hand trap out of your opponent's hand, and then when she's in the grave, if you special summon her with like Coral or something, you can mill 3 off the top of your deck to add a water monster to the top of your deck, which is okay, but the main purpose of that is to mill Marincess Wave to get you access to that quicker. But really her main purpose is being hand trap resistance, but just the fact that she can try and help you get wave faster is the cherry on top. I think she's a 3 of in every Marincess deck. There's not a single Marincess build where I wouldn't consider running her at 3. And then for the hand traps, you've already seen it before. You know them, you love them. Triple Ash Blossom, double Effect Veiler. This is one of the decks where I could recommend running more, but with how I've built it, I just want to see the standard like 5 ratio hand traps, where running 5 gives you the most optimal chance of drawing 1 and only 1. Ash Blossom's a once per turn, and Effect Veiler isn't, but Ash Blossom's stronger, so I run that one at 3, and then Veiler just covers up the last 2 slots. These could be really anything. Ghost Ogre, no material is really cheap right now, so stuff like that, anything like that would be really good. So that's it for the monsters. Moving on to the spells, I'm running the 1 Marincess Battle Ocean. I wish we didn't have to run this, but you really have to run this. You can't like justify not running it. It just sucks like that you have to use Crystal Heart to get the protection. If you don't know, you have to link summon a monster using Crystal Heart to get this card's protection, but when you do, you get immunity to all card effects on your monster. Which also sucks because it only lasts while the field spell's on the field. So if they hit this with like a Cosmic or a Twin Twister, your protection's gone. So the deck kind of falls apart a little more than Salamangreat when their field spell gets hit. But they function like play making wise better without their field spell than Salamangreat does. So it's like you win some, you lose some. Next I'm running triple Pot of Desires. I don't really care about banishing my Battle Ocean. I mean, it'll hurt a little bit, but honestly, I'd rather just get to wave as fast as possible, so I don't care. Plus, I don't run any one-ofs besides like the power one-ofs, which I don't super care about being banished, but they also have such a low chance of being banished, I don't really care about that risk. So triple Pot of Desires, it's just one of the best consistency boosters. Ignore the fact that I thought this was structure deck common. I've been having some rarity inconsistencies in a lot of my decks, so I thought this was one of those cases. It was not. Next I'm running triple Signet Mining. Thank God for the structure, the Megatons, because this card was so expensive for so long. But the mix of Salamangreat going to tier 2 plus the Megatons dropping these to super rare means that these are super cheap. They're very affordable. So I think Cybers is a really good type to pick up right now, just because Signet Mining is at 3, Signet Mining is cheap, and Salamangreat's cheap as well, so it just all pairs well for this card. Marincess are cheap too. The Megatons reprinted everything. The only one I can think of that might be expensive is Coral, because she's generic, but other than that, this deck should be relatively cheap. And it wouldn't have been if Signet Mining was still like an arm and a leg, but thanks to the Megatons. Next, I'm running 2 Foolish Burial Goods. This is basically your second and third copy of Marincess Wave. I mean, your fourth and fifth copy, excuse me, of Marincess Wave, because you can send it to the grave and then you can return it to your hand with all your recycling power, which is really nice. Like I said, the magic number's 5, so you have a really good chance of drawing 1 of either these or Wave, so you should have access to Wave. Even if you do, you still want to send it because you want to get as many into rotation as you can, because the more you have, the more disruption you can justify, because the big toss-up with Wave is when to fire it, and I'll talk about that more in a second. So next I'll run the 1-for-1, not 1-for-1, Foolish Burial. 1-for-1's next, spoiler alert. So Foolish Burial just sends like any Marincess you want from deck to grave, which basically means it's a 4th copy of Mandarin, it's a 4th copy of Seahorse. Then it can also mill if you're feeling really spicy. You can mill Minstrel, special summon Minstrel, and then mill 3 off the top of your deck. So there's a couple of good applications with this, but odds are you're just going to send either Marincess or Sea Archiver. Really good one of 1-for-1. This is full combo by itself. You just have to discard a monster, special summon Mandarin, and then you can link into Blue Slug, add back Mandarin, normal summon Mandarin, link into Sea Angel, add the field spell, special summon Mandarin from your grave, and then you get full combo from there. So this is really strong. You should always run a 1-for-1 in this build, or any Marincess build really. And then run the Called by the Grave, because this deck doesn't lose to hand traps, but I don't want to get hand trapped because at certain choke points it just kills you. You can try and play around a lot of it, like for example, you can chain block either the blue slug from Ghost Ogre or the blue tang from Ash Blossom, and you can do stuff like that, but it's just you really want to have the ability to just not have to worry about that in the first place. And then moving on to the traps, the only traps we're playing is triple wave. So wave, I've already been alluding to it this whole deck profile because it's the key card of the deck. It's a hand trap when you control a link 3 or higher Marincess, and then if you have a link 2 or higher, which obviously you will if you have a link 3 or higher, it makes all of your monsters on the field, all of them, unaffected by card effects for the rest of the turn. So there's a level of decision making with this card where you want to decide to either negate something and use this as an infinite impermanence, or you want to wait and hold it, or not wait and hold it. You want to not wait and hold it and fire it right off the bat to become immune to everything and be an Apocryphal Towers. I prefer to use this as an imperm because I'm going to have the field spell make me immune to everything. But either way, you want as many of these in rotation, because if you do hold it, you can fire one off and then have another one in your hand because it's not a once per turn to negate again. And then if you play it like it's only impermanence, then you get 2 or 3 free negates off a hand trap, which is really good. So we run that at 3. Next up is the extra deck, and in the extra deck we're running 2 Marincess Blue Slug. I've alluded to this a little bit too. She's not great, but what she does is she recycles a Marincess and is a link 1, which are the requirements you need. Sorry, I'm touching these a lot. It's the requirement you need for your blue tang to trigger, for all your combos to go off. She's really good, but only because it's Marincess. She wouldn't really be like, I mean, I guess you could say that about a lot. She's not like amazing, but she gets the job done. That's the important thing. This is a little controversial, but I'm running the 2 Marincess Sea Angel. Most people run 1, and that is perfectly acceptable, except I really like the Link Arrow, and I don't want to recycle my Sea Angel. I don't have anything I want to replace with this, or replace this with, so I'd rather run the Sea Angel than just not, and like putting in another XZs. But that's just me. I like the arrow a lot. I don't want to recycle it, so if I do my combo again and I need the arrow for whatever reason, I don't have to like waste a coral or marble rock on Sea Angel. Next up, I'm running 2 Marincess Coral Anemone. Even got the different rarities thanks to the Megatins. Coral is just, she's amazing. She special summons any water from your graveyard, and she recycles when she's sent to the grave. So this is like the best part of the Marincess Link engine, in my opinion. It's just a shame that you're going to use her to make Crystal Heart easier. It's kind of unfortunate. But yeah, she special summons from the grave, she recycles, she's the key component of the deck. It literally could not, I mean, it could function now because we have Splash Mage, which functionally is the same, but the recycling and the fact that she doesn't lock you into Cyberse, it just makes her the strongest option there is, and the deck would not be the same without her. Next, I'm running 2 Marincess Marble Rock. Marble Rock's something I considered dropping down to 1, but at the same time, I like the arrows and I like the stats. When you're trying to OTK, if you're not making the Great Bubble Reef, or if you can't make the Great Bubble Reef, Marble Rock's your go-to choice because it has only 100 points less attack. The attack negation is actually very useful in certain situations because the main way to get rid of your Marincess besides Twin Twister would be just making something bigger. So Marble Rock does actually provide a lot of protection. She recycles, which is amazing. I mean, that's amazing of all of them, but Marble Rock does it the best because it's just a once per turn while she's on the field. So this used to be the boss monster. She still kind of has that feeling of being the boss monster, so she's really good. You could run her at 1. I'm just choosing to run her at 2. Next up, I'm running triple Great Bubble Reef because my build is focused around getting her out or getting even 2 out, depending on your hand. And then you want to banish water monsters from your grave because it's not a once per turn, it's a once per copy per turn. To draw into your wave, or if you already have it, maybe get more, or get into like Effect Veiler or Ash Blossom. So she's like the bread and butter of the deck. She just draws you your stuff. She's a big body. She's the biggest Marincess body in the game right now, and she just does a really good job at being the boss monster. Next, I'm running 1 Marincess Wonderheart. We used to have to settle for this, and I'm so glad we got Great Bubble Reef because in comparison, Wonderheart's garbage. Like, there's not really any situation where I want to make her unless I'm going second. Like, I might just cut her altogether, but for now, she's in here. Theoretically, you make her, equip her with Marbled Rock, and then you swing in with both and just hope you can kill. If you can't kill, you still have like the same. You wouldn't have Crystal Heart as material on here, but hopefully you have like Wave to make you immune, and then you can try and go for the OTK again. She also has battle protection because when you declare an attack on her, she can make herself not be destroyed, and then she special summons the equipped Marincess. I keep lifting her as expecting Marble Rock to be underneath. But yeah, she's fine. That's really all I can really say is she's fine. Crystal Heart. She is so bad. She is just terrible. I wish we didn't have to run her. If we didn't have to run her, and instead we could run literally anything else. If this was on, if the protection was through Marbled Rock or something, then the deck would be much better because then you could make Marbled Rock recycle and then make a Link 4 off of that. But enough about that. It's just we have to play her. She gives you your immunity. That's it. You can banish her off of Great Bubble Reef and then special summon her back, but there's like no reason to do that. There's like couple cute things, but I wish we didn't have to run her. She's bad. Splash Mage. This is your main way of trying to get to the double Great Bubble Reef because it basically works as your second coral anemone, but they don't have the same. Like they're both hard ones per turns, but because you have 2, you can basically use coral twice. You can't summon him the same turn you bring back your Deep Sea Minstrel, so keep that in mind if you're doing the Minstrel mill thing. But other than that, he's like really good. The only time you wouldn't make him is if you're making Abyss Dweller in certain not mirror matches, but certain matchups where Abyss Dweller just blows the opponent out, which is definitely something that comes up. I don't know about this format, but in general, Abyss Dweller will have games that it just steals, so I run them. So not much to say about that, and that's the deck profile. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know if I ran through the deck too quickly. I didn't have a side deck this time either. Let me know if that's something you're interested in. I just didn't have one for this deck yet. This one's more casual. And then like, comment, subscribe. I gotta remind you guys to do that. Let me know if you want to see more deck profiles. I'm not really taking requests right now. I'm just doing what I have. Maybe I could do like a poll. I have a couple of casual decks I could do and a couple of decks I'm trying to tweak to be competitive. So maybe I can do that. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.